All right, cool. All right. Ready for today's session?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. You always are.
I have
Um,
my SOL tomorrow.
and remind me of what the SOL stands for.
Uh,
It's like an exam,
Standards of learning.
standards of learning. Okay.
So it's about
Um,
reading comprehension. We just read like passages, a passage, a poem, a flyer, and we answer
yeah.
questions about them.
All right. And so the teacher has been preparing you guys all semester or a little bit here and there with in different ways. Is that
No,
right?
we just did. We kind of didn't. It's diff. So it has like stuff we've learned in class,
Yeah.
like some of that nonfiction and genre and all that. But no. We did do some stuff today, but we didn't get to like finish it.
Okay. All right. I'll see if there's a couple minutes at the end to talk through some of this. But I'll go through the agenda here. So, reading comprehension, visual mapping, and book goals. So, we're going to focus on the finishing up that summary. I think you look like you're pretty much done with that summary, almost. So, I want you to spend a couple minutes doing that, and then we'll look at the original summary and see if there's any difference between the first summary you made and after looking at 12, selecting 12 words. Um, all right, deepen comprehension through visual mapping and discussion. So, really, in improving our reading comprehension, oftentimes you're going to see that we're going to slow down. We're going to slow things down, make them slow motion, so that we can actually think about what we're doing and why. And I think if you understand the why of using visual techniques, we're going to do some drawing today. So I hope that you have a pencil. And if your mother was able to print the flow map and the bubble map from last time, that's great. If not, that's okay. You can draw it on a piece of paper
Yeah,
at that time.
I don't think I have the bubble map.
Okay. You probably have the flow map, which is a bunch of boxes with arrows.
Did you send that to us?
Yeah.
Did you like
Um,
mail it?
no, no. It was like last week, and uh, I had told your mom that she could go ahead and print it. Now, it's okay if she really didn't, because and really the way that they want us to do it when they trained us is have students draw it. Don't give them the copy, make them do it from scratch, because it's going to solidify what the map. You're going to learn it better if you actually have to draw it, because you'll think about the different parts of the map. So it's actually better that way. Um, and we're going to start to talk about what does it say, what does it not say, how does it say it, and finally, what does it mean? We're not going to talk about all four of those today, but we'll start to become more familiar with this way of thinking through what we read, because it's going to force us to really layer our reading and read things sometimes more than once. I also was thinking about this, Arif. I think our my approach with you has changed somewhat, because I know in the beginning you had a lot of anxiety, not anxiety, but a little bit of concern with your scores on your test. Now that's going to fluctuate. That's going to go up and down. Um, but I think for now, I think just asking, helping you with homework during
Yeah.
the office hour and sometimes during our sessions is probably going to help you a lot, because kind of that's it's good to go off of what you're learning in class also. So, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. Yeah, because if we just make everything my plan here solid all the time, it doesn't really pay attention to what you're actually doing in a given week. But if we're kind of flexible here, um, and we leave a little bit of time for that, then I think you're getting more out of it, because I've noticed you asked a lot of hey, can we work on this? Can you help me with that? I wrote a cinquain, or I'm working on a haiku, and I trust you on that. If you feel that that's what you want help with, then then I'm here for that. Okay, so all right, let's jump right in. We're gonna do spend about 20 minutes on the creative flow map. So let me keep an eye on the time, 4:36. So we have about um okay, we'll jump right into that. Okay, we're gonna go into Google Classroom right here. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Um, so we have your student worksheet. This was the 12-word summary. And what I did is last night I put a lot of your words. Let me see. Oh, that isn't right. Okay, let me see here. Let's look at your copy here. Can you see everything okay?
Yeah.
All right, these are the 12 words you chose, but you actually chose 14 words.
Oh,
You also started to write your summary. So what I'd like you to do for the next few minutes or so, I'd like you to open up this assignment and make a choice of, do you
could
want to
you send
use these words? Excuse me?
could you send it to me? I'll continue using the same words though. Could you like send it to me? The chat.
Yeah, I'll send it to you in the chat. Um, oh, it's right here. All right. Go into the chat right there. There you are. All right. You can go ahead and I'll move my cursor elsewhere here. Yep. All right. I'm going to grab some water and let's try. You can finish up in, let's say, 3 or 4 minutes if that feels right.
Yeah.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm also going to do some work here. So I'm going to stop sharing because I want to do some cut and paste for you. Share. Okay. I'm going to go here, up here. Right, classwork.
Could you share the passage again?
Sure.
I don't remember
It should
that.
also be, yeah, it should be in Google Classroom. If you look under week 2 sessions,
But it
it'll
makes it
say
easy.
like,
I could just
it'll
do
say
like
like,
split screen. I can like just split my screen and then,
yeah, okay. Yeah, it's also in, I see what you're saying. Um, Okay, we're going to copy this, copy link. We're going to go there. We're going to go here and we're going to go in Zoom. All right, it's coming into the chat.
Oh, could you like share your screen?
Yeah, now, so I'm going to make a recommendation right now. Um, I want you to just go off of your 12 words summary. If you can, let that be your main guide. You can certainly go back to the passage. So let me share my screen. But the reason why you chose 12 words and see if perhaps just looking at those 12 words on that worksheet allow you to write that summary, right? So, but however you want to do that is fine. Okay. Because you want to be able to take notes and without looking at the passage, write your summary. But yeah, whatever works. So I'm gonna here we go.
Scroll down a bit. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. It'll just take me a second to get water and then I'll be here in case you want me to move it down and I'll just
Okay.
work with you on that. I'll be your secretary, your scrivener. Fahrenheit. Are you still good with this passage?
Yeah, I think I finished.
Okay. All right, let's take a look here. Uh-oh. I don't know what the heck happened here. All right, we're going to take a look right now. Now, don't know what we're going to find, but we will see whether or not 12-word summary has been helpful. So I'm going to go into your draft here. Now, all right, go ahead and read your original here out loud, and then we'll read the summary you just wrote right now. So, you want to go ahead and read that out loud?
Oh, I thought you were gonna read it. Zora Neale Hurston was born on January 7, 1891 in Alabama. She wanted to improve the lives of Black people. She attended Howard University, a famous Black college, to try and improve Black people's lives. She wrote a short story and received a scholarship to the Barnard College in Harlem. After being there for a while, she met Charlotte Mascud.
Okay. Go ahead and read this new one.
Zora Neale Hurston was born in Alabama and was raised in Florida and was a very important person in the Harlem Renaissance, whose work impressed the American South. She studied anthropology at Barnard after attending Howard University. She was supported by Charlotte Osgood Mason and was involved in the Works Progression Administration. Zora collected Southern Black folklore and culture. The most people glossed over its impact. Her novel, Their Eyes Were Watching God, is a famous novel written by her, and she also wrote Fire, an important novel.
Which one do you like better and why?
I think I like the other one because uh, that one kind of summed everything. I think I gave a bit too much details in the summary.
In this one here?
Yeah, and maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Wait a minute, you're down. Okay. I have an interesting perspective on this. I totally agree with you in terms of how I might feel about it if I were you, right? Because we've been taught that a summary is very general. However, let me point something out here. You actually picked up on something important here. Remember, after you wrote this first one last week, I told you there was something missing. But you captured it here. So here's my thought. um, if you really think about it, some of this stuff is not as important. Um, or actually, I would say that you could cut it down even further. But what I noticed in the second summary here is this right here. See that right there?
Yeah.
I really think that that's kind of what I was looking for. I was also looking for,
So
let's take a look at the first.
did I do like an okay job, a decent job?
Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing, it could be a lot better. But so you did a good job considering this is your first draft of a summary. What I want to teach you is a way to make it even better. Okay, watch. So give me a second here. I want to see if you captured an idea that jumped out to me when I was reading this passage. Um, is this. I like this right here. Um, but I think you get more here. Um, it has to do with Southern Black folklore and culture, right? This idea here also, let me ask you a question. Though most people glossed over its impact, what do you mean by that? Which people are you talking about?
Uh, like critics, maybe.
Whites, blacks, people in her community, outside of her community?
Uh, I think maybe critics, probably.
Okay. Now remember, um, now I could be wrong here. One of the things that I wanted to see was you saying something about the fact that her own community of African Americans felt like she didn't speak to the Black experience and she didn't downplay white supremacy. Remember that? Do you remember that portion?
Yeah, she did talk to black people and everything. Yeah.
But she was criticized heavily by people in it may have been the civil rights movement because she didn't downplay white supremacy as much. She just wrote as she saw it. So she was her own thinker. She created her own ideas based upon the folklore and the language that she picked up on as she went through the South, right? Okay. But you captured some of that right here, and I like that, which you didn't get in this first time around. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes. Would you also agree that in neither one of these did you directly capture this idea that here was this creative writer and she wasn't following what her fellow African Americans wanted her to do? And I think we're reading in between the lines. Remember these questions. What does it say? What does it not say? Because we can make inferences. What's the inference of this whole passage in relation to other blacks? This person is different. How is she different?
Uh,
I kind of hinted at it, right? Why was she criticized?
because she didn't follow like the black people. They wanted her to they didn't understand kind of what she was doing.
They wanted to have a voice. They had issues with the white community, and they should. And it's understandable, right? Indians in India, they were ruled by the British, right? You probably know that.
Yeah.
Until Mahatma Gandhi came along
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
He sparked the independence through nonviolence, right?
Yeah.
Similar thing. Imagine an Indian at that time writing about British and not calling out the British people for how terribly they treated Indians. How would she be treated by people in her own family, even, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a little trick here. Did you find the 12-word summary helpful? In other words,
Uh,
can we go back to these words and can we pick some different words? And if we were to write a new summary, pick up on some of these ideas that, remember, what does the passage say? What
uh,
does it not say? What what it doesn't say, but it wants us to, I think, understand is her difference between her and her fellow African Americans. In other words, when you sit down and become a novelist and you're a true artist and you're being genuine to your craft and how you understand people around you and how you write it into your novel, that's more important oftentimes than simply following what you want other people. In other words, instead of being politically driven all the time, just trusting your own instincts, your own creative instincts, and trusting that that's going to stand the test of time. And her novels now speak to everybody's experience as well. Whites can read it, blacks can read it. And I have a student at school that read that book. I sent her home with the book and she read it on her own. Their eyes were watching God. What are
okay.
your thoughts?
Uh, I
That's
think,
probably very vague, right? But go ahead.
uh,
Okay, here's what I'm saying. Let's do this. I think this will be helpful. Um, a 12-word summary is great because it's a nice way. Here's a passage right here, right?
yeah,
Here's your summary over here. Let's say this is Monday.
okay.
This is Tuesday. You write your summary. What's going to help you in the middle is
Uh,
a 12-word summary because you can
okay.
read that passage, take your notes. It's like taking notes, basically. And
Okay.
it's like a rough draft of your summary. Did you find it easier to go write your summary when you had these words to look at? You didn't have to go to the
Yeah,
passage. I know you
yes,
did.
these words like summed up most of the key points and actions that happened in this uh story and everything.
Right. So as you do more of these, I know we're not going to take a lot of time in our tutoring because we're going to do a new set of strategies. But if we had more time, we would do more of these. And then you would see, okay, this really is helpful. And then you would look at this and you wouldn't have to look back at the passage. Now, I'm here's watch this. For homework, if you can, I want you to do a couple things with this. We're going to move on. Um, extension activity. Okay.
Remove 10 words.
Yes. A little trick here. If I were to ask you to take this paragraph here, this summary, and remove 10 words, it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle, but it's gonna force you to really ask yourself which are the most important words. Which can I get rid of? I guarantee you, 100%, you can get rid of 10, even 15 words and even do a better job.
I can get
Utah,
rid of Alabama, Florida.
you really can't. But what you can say is, um,
I can put the like state they were born in. I mean the country.
watch what I do right here. She studied anthropology at Bernard.
Yeah.
That's it. You can remove all this. Or if you want to keep Howard, she studied anthropology at Bernard after Howard, right? Um, Also, works progression administration. Is that really important? Is it not? Now, I'm not here to say it's not. It's just a question for you to think about. You can go back to the passage, you can reread it, and this time, see, this is what I love about rereading and rewriting, because when you go back, now you're reading with a stronger purpose, aren't you?
Yes.
Now you know exactly what you're looking for. You know what your purpose is, which is to see if you can capture more of a central idea here. And I talked about it, didn't I? I talked about how she stands in relation to others because she's an artist. They're political activists. See the difference? And what it speaks to is her courage and her individuality. And this is why I gave you those four questions. What does it say? We know what it says. What does it not say? Did you learn anything right now with our discussion with what it doesn't say and what it implies or infers?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you did, right? So you could definitely go back, remove 10 words, and then go back to the 12 words right here. And there's two extra ones down here. So you're going to have to get rid of four and replace it with two. Make
Will you
sense?
do the could you do it like with me and I like orally tell you some stuff?
Um, I would rather us move on to the next part here,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, let's spend a couple minutes. Let's do that. Um, if that's
Oh, we
what
can
you want
definitely remove Florida, Alabama.
I cannot understand this command. Please open the app to find
fire,
supported.
fire can be something that, you know, you can actually say she worked for different papers because
Yeah.
basically it talks about how she developed, right?
Yeah, I think
I
I get
think yeah, it's semi-important because it does talk about her progression as a writer. She didn't just become a writer, she worked at it, by working at Opportunity. I think that would be a better example actually, because Opportunity was the publication or the paper that had more people were familiar with, right? So they recognized her from Opportunity. That opened doors for her and opportunities for her. Makes sense,
yeah.
right? I think Charlotte Osgood Mason is fine, but here's the deal. Instead of Charlotte Osgood Mason being a random person, why is she important? Did you talk about that? Well, I think you might have. She was supported by Charlotte Osgood Mason. You missed an important idea here. And what that was it gave her a chance to learn about how blacks taught. In other words, the anthropology and the folklore that she learned by traveling throughout the South, right? It helped her develop those characters. So I'm going to put some hints in here just to help you out here. Some main ideas to work into this paragraph. Her development as a writer traveling the South was funded. Now, remember, this is what makes Charlotte Osgood Mason so valuable to this writer. Why? She funded her. Without that money, she could not have developed that way. Does this increase your understanding of the passage when we talk about these finer details or these main ideas?
Yeah.
Right. Because it answers the question why. And as you enter high school, you have to get more better. And you're good at it because you're very smart. You're super smart. It's a matter of using these tools to make inferences and always ask that question, not just what does it say? What does it not say? And for prose, this is really going to take it to that higher level. How does it say it? Poetry is all about how, right?
Yeah.
Trust me on that. Because poetry uses sounds, onomatopoeia, it uses dialects, it uses different rhythms. And there's 1,000 different ways to say the same thing, but poetry wants to show it to you. It wants you to experience it, to feel it. And that's why, when it comes to poetry, especially, how it says it, in other words, which poetic devices and forms of figurative language it uses are super important because how is what? How becomes what? If your mother said to you, Arif, take out the garbage, right? It's not what she's telling you, it's how she's telling you. You're saying to yourself in your heart, my mom loves me,
How she like says you have to like emphasize.
right? That's the message she's giving you. I love you, my son, without saying it. It's how she says, take out the garbage. If she were to say the same words and say, Arif, take out the garbage, how would you feel?
She probably doesn't like you that much.
Maybe she's frustrated with you in that moment. So remember, what does it say? Take out the garbage. What does it not say? I'm frustrated with you or I love you. Do you see how these questions really work together to create meaning? Do you see how
I
these
was
questions
wondering
work?
in the last 15 minutes of class if we could just take a random passage and answer some questions, maybe some poems too, to
Um,
prepare for the SWL, just as good review.
okay, give me a second here.
Wait, I actually know something that can help us. Could you search up in
Yeah,
Google? I
yeah,
know.
okay. Arif, before I go on, have I given you enough specifics here to make this extension activity?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you want me to go?
Search up test now. I thought it would be a good practice before that, so I just want to, get into the.
Okay. So, Arif,
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that. So let's do this. We'll do that for remaining 15 minutes, but I want to save a couple of minutes to look at the reading recommendations I made for you.
Okay.
Just to point them out. We can talk about them a little more later because I think your mind is more focused on doing well in the SOL, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So during office hour, we'll spend a little bit of time probably revisiting this session here and doing some of the things we would have done today. So I'm going to skip what we were going to do. We'll do that on Friday.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You said look up SOL
No, test nav.
test.
NAV.
Let me see if I have it already. Um, see, you're in Virginia. If you can spell it in the chat for me, because I think it's the
Test and
exact.
then NAV.
Oh, SNAV. Gotcha. Okay, sounds good.
No, test. No, not SNAV test. Just put test and after put NAV.
Gotcha. Test nav home.
Yeah, and click on Virginia.
Yeah.
Go to practice items.
Oh yeah, I remember you took me here before.
I have. And
Reading?
go to grade 7 and click on the non-audio, the last one. It doesn't give you a score, so after I read the passage, will you tell me if I'm right? Click the arrow.
Think there's an arrow hidden. Oh yeah, I gotcha. You want to read that out loud or silently? Is that what you want me to wait for you to do?
Oh, I'll just read it out loud.
Okay, it's up to you.
If you were a fish, one of the last birds you would want to see flying overhead is a hungry osprey. These majestic birds of prey average 2 feet in length and may have an incredible 6 foot wingspan. These enormous predators are also equipped with long, sharp talons for snacking a meal swimming in the water below. Ospreys, also known as fishhawks or fishing eagles, have short hooked beaks and wings that taper to rounded tips. Their coloring ranges from white to dark brown. The white feathers on ospreys' heads look like little caps, and their wings include a mixture of white and dark brown feathers. Their chests, bellies, and chins are white, and their tails are marked with several white bands or stripes. Ospreys in flight are easy to identify thanks to their distinctive plumage or feathers. Not surprisingly, these birds are related to eagles, hawks, and even vultures. They can live a long time. The average lifespan in the wild is 18 years, the oldest known osprey to live to be 25 years old. I think there was more to the passage.
Okay, gotcha.
No,
Oh
you
yeah,
can.
I got you. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
right here.
Ospreys fly fast and dive at amazing speed, soaring 100 feet above the water. Their sharp eyes watch the surface carefully for any telltale signs of fish. Ospreys hover over the water and wait for some indication of activity. Once prey is spotted, the birds fold their wings to their sides and begin a steep dive, plunging nearly straight down at blazing speeds. Usually, ospreys hit the water feet first, plunging completely underwater to catch their food. Water sprays in all directions as the birds reach underwater to grab a fish. They have been seen diving as much as 3 feet underwater to capture their prey. Once a fish has been snagged in its sharp claws, an osprey soars back up into the sky, pausing in the flight just long enough to shake the water from its feathers before flying away to enjoy its meal. To help ospreys hold on to their catch, each of their feet has a unique reversible front toe. Since their diet is almost entirely fish, ospreys make their home near water. They live on islands and around bays, such as the Chesapeake Bay between Virginia and Maryland. The birds spend summers in Alaska, Canada, and northwestern parts of the United States. They stay in warmer places like the Caribbean and Central South America. The Chesapeake Bay is home to the largest nesting populations of ospreys in the world. Observers have counted as many as 2,000 pairs. This area has been called the Osprey Garden. Like other birds, ospreys like to build their nest where people are unlikely to approach them. In coastal communities, ospreys have built nests on top of electric power poles and towers. This is dangerous and can result in power failures. Some cities build nesting platforms for the big birds to use instead. In other regions, ospreys build nests high in trees or on rocky cliffs. Ospreys' nests have been found on channel markers and buoys on the water.
Yeah, buoys.
Buoys.
Buoys. Yeah.
Ospreys use their nest repeatedly. When ospreys return to their nest, they spend their time repairing them before laying their eggs. Most ospreys lay 3 eggs at a time. They're about the same size as chicken eggs and take approximately 5 weeks to hatch. Threatening approaches, the osprey's usual call of cheep cheep turns into an angry treek treek. The the call means get away immediately. When the eggs crack open, the chicks, which weigh only about 2 ounces, crawl out. In less than 2 months, these tiny birds will have grown enough to take their first flight. It will not be long before a new generation of ospreys is ready to imitate their parents and head out for a tasty meal. With their beautiful color and threatening size and natural ability to bolt out of the sky at high speeds, there is little doubt that ospreys are remarkable birds. Imagine these majestic birds soaring from the heights of the sky and plummeting into the depths of the water. Ospreys will continue to populate the skies for future generations. Could you go to paragraph 2?
Yeah.
No, you can click on the next question. Go to the
Oh,
next.
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
What are the two reasons the author includes paragraph 2? Okay.
It's definitely number 1. The first one is probably one of them.
Okay, to describe the appearance of ospreys. So, are you reading all of these first?
Oh yeah, I read them right now.
Oh, you okay? So, give me a second to describe the appearance of ospreys.
Yeah, I think I got my answer. It's 1 and 2.
Okay, so you can select 2. Okay, give me a second to indicate. Well, this won't give us answers, correct?
Yeah, once you submit it, so will you be able to check and see if you agree with me?
Oh, you want me to figure it out on my own whether or not I agree with you?
Yeah, because that will really, help. 'Cause if
Okay,
you,
well, yeah, let me see. Okay. Well, I think your reasoning is fine because what I'm doing, I'm going to the last one and I'm going to the easy, process of elimination to indicate how ospreys protect their young. I don't feel like that was the point of the passage there. Um,
yeah, I don't think they
so-
talked about that. They didn't
yeah.
talk about how they fly. They talked a little bit of identifying them,
Mhm.
but
I
not really.
think they were. I think they were comparing to other birds because
They said hawks, eagles, even vultures.
yeah, but let's make sure that they mention that here. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Um,
So, do you agree with me?
yeah, I think you're right. I do agree with you.
Okay, we'll go to the next one.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
When you read this,
Yeah.
how do you remember what you read? Like specific details. For example, if I were to ask you, how many different kinds of birds are the ospreys related to? How many did it mention? And you don't have a chance to look. Just if I were to ask you, how would you
4.
know 4 other birds?
Yes.
Okay. Um, it's actually 3. Now,
Oh,
here's something to think about. As I was reading, um, you know the number pi,
yeah.
3.14. Okay. We memorized it all the way to 25 places. And how we did that, we visualized, we created a story. So we created a story for 1, for 4. So in other words, there was one man who had 4 houses, right? 3.14. 1, 4. A one man, 4 houses, right? We did this all the way to 25 and we we anchored it visually up here. So as I was reading this, I was creating little pictures for myself, and I could see the osprey with three other types of birds. Four is a nice even number. So if you were to ask me how many other birds does it look like, I would have said three. And with the osprey, that's four total. Okay. Also, how many ounces does the baby osprey weigh? Without looking.
2 ounces.
Yeah, two. Okay, good. Yeah, you see, when you get older like me, you have to have these tricks. Let's keep going to the next one. The name, the Osprey Garden in paragraph 4, gives the reader the impression of. All right, let's see the name Osprey Garden. Okay.
I think it's D.
Well, and okay, so I know what you're thinking. My question is this word thickly as flowers. Is it emphasizing that there are many?
Yeah, they said 2,000 pairs.
Yeah, correct. I agree with that. Can you explain to me why it's not? Oh, you know what? Never mind. I think it's going to save us time if we wait until the end and to see which ones you got wrong, and then we'll see if
It
we need
doesn't.
to.
It doesn't. Once you submit it, it doesn't show you if it's wrong or right.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay.
So I'm trusting
Um,
you.
well, I think your thinking is correct because it's implying that it's called a garden not because of flowers, but because of what's the sentence before,
Yeah.
the number of pairs and etc. So yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, we can go to the next.
Which two details support the idea that ospreys protect their nests? Okay.
Definitely build in high or isolated locations.
Yes. Um, Ospreys protect their nests.
They call treek.
This one or that one? Last one?
It's both. You
It's
can do
both.
two. It's 3 and 6. So the last one and the third one.
Okay, but let me just read through these. I thought you picked this one here in the build in high and or isolated
Yeah, you
locations.
can choose. You can choose two details.
I know that, but I thought you said these two. So just that one plus this one?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. I agree with you on that. Which sentence from the article contains a comparison?
Uh, I think it's B. Because the rest are just like facts. It used comparison word, simile, like or as, so like.
Oh, you're talking about dislike or dislike?
The first one.
Yeah, like other
We're
birds.
comparing it to other birds.
I agree with that. Which detail about ospreys should be included in the summary of the article? This will be our last one because I need to cover something real fast, and then I have another
B.
tutoring session.
I think
B?
it's
Okay,
B.
let's see. Which detail about ospreys should be included in a summary of the article? Osprey has a wingspan. You said B?
Yeah.
Why not A?
Because in a summary about an animal, you usually talk about what they eat and it's where it lives, so that covers two, while the A covers only one of its features.
Right. Okay.
So
And let's see.
which one do you think it is?
Well, why not C? But that doesn't mean I think it's C necessarily, but it seems like it could be a possibility, not as strong, but why
Yeah.
not C? Why not C?
Because it's just giving a fact, a fun fact, like the oldest bird of this type lived to be 25 years old. I think the summary should include its key facts, where it lives, what it eats, where its nests are, how it makes the babies and everything. And yeah, those three things.
You know, you may be right, but here's another way of thinking about it. Where's the emphasis in the article? That's what's really going to be the deciding factor here. It's going to be the article itself, because not every article is going to follow um, what you think should be a good summary. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I like your thinking. I do, because it's very informed. It's very well prepared. However, you got to be a little bit careful with that, because if this article, for example, was talking a lot about the migration, right? Wouldn't you agree that D would probably be a good answer?
B.
Right. I'm just saying the article, I mean, I think you're right. I'm just saying that you can have an article that talks about migration a lot throughout, right? And maybe it doesn't really go into its feeding habits or how it builds its nest. So wouldn't you agree that if this passage had been written differently, that D might have been the answer?
Yes.
Okay. I just want you to understand that part of it. We have to stop right here. I'm going to let you go and we'll talk about the reading stuff later. However, let me see. I want to show you something here. So if you can do the homework and then do me a favor, just take about 5 minutes to read through this. It's reading recommendations. And tell me what your thoughts are, what questions you have.
So are
These
these
are some,
books, are the books like The Giver?
yeah,
Uh,
correct. Okay. Not right now because I have to run. I have another tutoring session.
okay. But
All right. Did you find today helpful?
yes, it was very helpful.
Okay, very good. Take care and thanks for
You
hard
too.
work and have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, you too. Have a good day.
Thanks. Bye.